I've been seeing this story circulating around social media for the past few days. It's a story out of Georgia where a homeowner shoots 3 intruders. He kills all 3 of them. Then the parents come back and say, hey, we want this guy charged. Instead of taking accountability for the fact that their kids did this and they ended up in that situation as a consequence to their own actions, they say that guy needs to be charged. He's in the wrong instead of their kids.
Homeowner shot and killed 3 masked teenage intruders, even though he insists it was self-defense. The parents of the teens are still demanding that he be prosecuted. This happened in Rockdale County, Georgia. At around 4, 3 masked teenagers appeared in the neighborhood. They tried to break into a home to commit a robbery, but gunfire from inside the house brought them down. All 3 suspects died after being shot. 2 were pronounced dead at the hospital, and 1 died at the scene. Later, the families confirmed that among the victims were the brothers, ages 15 and 16. After the incident, the parents of these teenagers called for the homeowner to be prosecuted, saying he took the lives of their 3 sons. However, multiple eyewitnesses confirmed that all 3 teens were masked and armed. During the attempted break-in, the suspects fired at the homeowner first, and the resident returned fire in self-defense. Police also concluded that under Georgia's self-defense and stand your ground laws, the homeowner's actions were considered lawful self-defense. So do you think this was self-defense? Leave your thoughts in the comments.
But from what I can find, this incident actually happened a few years ago, I think in 2019. So it's not a new case, but we need to talk about it nonetheless. We need to talk about these kids, and we need to talk about the parents who raised them. You have 2 15-year-olds and a 16-year-old running around in the dead of the night trying to break into somebody's home. This is a guy minding his business, taking care of his responsibilities as a man, paying his mortgage, taking care of his family. One thing about kids is they always feel invincible. They think that everybody else is old and the things that they do don't have consequences, and they have to learn that entirely too late. And unfortunately, all 3 of these guys got sent to Jesus because they thought that what was in that house was more valuable than their lives. Then you have the parents that come out and say this guy needs to face some sort of legal action because their kids are gone. First of all, he has the right to defend his home, and these teens are armed and dangerous. They try entering his house with guns, and that's already bad enough, but then there's 3 of them. So even if they didn't have the guns, just by the sheer number of them, 3 on 1, he's allowed to use lethal force. You have a constitutional right to protect yourself, to protect your property. And when you're in a state like Georgia, a stand your ground state, there's also castle doctrine. It's not like Maryland, where we have a duty to retreat here. You have to run away from your intruder, which is, by the way, one of the reasons why I don't like Maryland. I don't like their gun laws, and I'm going to leave this state. Hit the like button, subscribe, join the conversation down in the comment section. I do read all of the comments. I do respond to them, so let's talk. Never mind they had guns. Never mind there was 3 of them. Where were the adults that were supposed to be watching over them? Now everybody wants to come out and say, wow, how could this happen? It happened because you let your kids run wild in the streets causing trouble and didn't even know that they were out in the middle of the night. This happened because more often than not, people want to be friends with their kids instead of being parents. So you got teenagers toting guns trying to run in people's houses. And I am sorry for the loss that those parents experience. I'm a parent also, but I do blame the parents and I blame the kids as well. You want this guy charged and to suffer for your kids. It's a little too late for that. You can't do parenting after the fact, after the kids are gone, because you should have been keeping an eye on them. Instead, you're letting them run the streets and do whatever it is that they want. And instead of it being something productive, their fund is victimizing people, victimizing homeowners. One of my favorite rappers has this line. It's a guy from Philly. His name's Core. He says, they didn't stop making guns when they made yours, because everybody is not going to lie down and take it. Some people are going to exercise their constitutional right to bear arms and defend themselves. And that's what you got in this case. Now, there was a similar case in my area, in the DMV area. It was actually about 60 miles from the DMV in Fredericksburg, Virginia. There was another group of kids that were out in the middle of the night. They start banging on this guy's door at 3 a.m. He shoots them. Then he calls the police and says, hey, this is what happened. One of those kids died. Another one got grazed with a bullet. And the third one is perfectly fine. He wasn't harmed. Then they turn around and tell the police, we were just playing ding dong ditch. Same type of situation, except one is a robbery, one is an attempted robbery, and one is a game. But they both have deadly outcomes. Both instances, the parents are failing the kids. They're almost adults, 16, 17, 18. You failed them because you didn't teach them the dangers of the world. People have a right to protect themselves, and they're going to exercise it. By the way, the gentleman in this second instance was charged with second-degree murder, and he's awaiting trial. So it's still a fresh situation. We got to see how that plays out. But I think he's going to end up going to jail. People got to do better raising their kids and steering them away from making stupid decisions that have permanent effects. Now, I know some kids, they're going to be hard-headed. They're going to be made an example of. But both of these situations are tragedies. They're things that could have been prevented with some better parenting, in my opinion. Those are my thoughts. If you like the video, subscribe to me back here for the next conversation. And if you have something to say, let the world know. This is the place for discourse. Until next time, peace.